Hi, and welcome to the Crit Hit Wild podcast, where we cover all things Marvel Crisis Protocol, and we do a new character every week. This week, we're going to be talking about Ebony Maw, and I'm your host, Fred.
I'm Brad.
I'm Brandon.
And I'm Steven.
And we're all here today. How is everyone doing? How are you doing today, Brandon?
I like that, every time you ask that question, you have to, randomly think of someone.
And I don't want to always go to the same person.
I'm
And
good.
both you and Brad's name both start with the same way, and so my mouth starts saying one name, and I don't know what name it's saying.
Yeah, man, I had a good day. I worked today, but nothing too crazy. It's been a little chilly, but a nice day.
Yeah. How are you today, Brad?
I felt shitty all day, and you never asked me how I'm doing first.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll do that. Never. I won't remember next week. It'll never happen. How are you doing today, Steven?
I'm fine. I'm in Florida.
Has the weather
Went to-
improved?
Weather has improved. Went to church with my boss and made dinner today. So, yeah, we're all good.
Okay, that's good to hear. I also glossed right over Brad saying that he feels crappy all day. I'm sorry, Brad.
I was just,
Yeah, it was a whole lot of not giving a fuck about Brad.
yeah.
I suddenly felt really bad.
I was up very late last night.
Yeah, you were there later than me, right?
Much later than you, Fred.
Oh no, did something else happen?
Brandon was
Not-
busy, and I had to watch him and make sure he didn't get himself into trouble.
Yeah. We're talking about Vampire the
Appreciate
Masquerade, which we play late at night. All right, well, let's talk about Marvel Crisis Protocol. So the only news we got actually a little bit of news. They released a couple new tactics cards because they are tactics cards that come in the Bishop box. Is that correct? Did these come in the Bishop box?
Yes, they come in the Bishop
Yeah.
box.
And that is now out.
No, no, it's not, Fred.
Oh, it's not?
No.
It is
Oh,
not.
well, I'm wrong. I'm sorry, everyone.
It will
but
come
let's talk-
out 4 days after you can first listen to this.
Okay. So it's out next week. That's my mistake. Let's talk about these new tactics cards because we have not discussed them yet on the pod. The first one is called Mutant Traitor. This is an attack one. It is an unaffiliated active action card. During Gambit's activation, he may play this card while within range 3 of an allied Lucas Bishop. The allied Lucas Bishop immediately makes the attacks shown above. And it is called Amplified Ammunition. It's a beam 3, 6 dice attack that costs 0 power. It has several triggers. The first one is Wild Kinetic. After each attack is resolved, this character pushes the target character away short. It has Double Wild Overcharged. This character counts all wild results in this attack roll as 2 successes. After all attacks are resolved from this beam attack, this character suffers 1 damage. And then Crit Skull, Gambit's Grace. During the modified dice step of each attack, this character may change all skull results in the attack roll to wild results. Okay, that was quite a bit. But what do you think about this? I'm going to start with Brad because Brad has put Bishop on the table in the past.
And Gambit.
And Gambit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Brad, what are your thoughts looking at this card?
So, attack cards are bad.
Yeah.
This one, I feel like it's almost there.
You're gonna probably let's assume that you get to make like 3 attacks if you line the beam up correctly. It's likely at least one of those attacks you'll get the crit skull, and then if you get the crit skull, if you have one more wild in that result, you will probably get all the triggers.
Yes. Yeah.
In fact,
It's
you will if everything I
Yeah.
just said.
yeah. Or if you rolled 2 skulls.
True.
Yeah. It's the thing is it takes one of Gambit's actions.
Yeah, not one of Bishop's.
And this might be better than Gambit taking an action of his own.
Yeah, because Gambit's not very good.
There's two opportunity costs here. You have to be playing Gambit, which in
Less than ideal.
some places that's fine, like basically outside of X-Men, he's pretty good.
Okay.
But then the other thing is you take up a tactics card slot, and that's just so tough. So I don't think
You're outside of X-Men though, so you're gonna.
Yeah.
Does X-Force have like a ton of good tactics cards?
Yeah, they do now.
Okay. Yeah.
That's the problem. Like, or you can play Gambit and Brotherhood and then throw Bishop in there. And, oh, yeah, Brotherhood has really good cards too.
I don't
Also,
think this is
Gambit.
bad.
Also, Gambit just has another good card.
Gambit does have a great card.
Yeah.
A really
Yeah, he
great
does.
card. So I just don't think this is going to get played. But, like, it's almost there.
Yeah, I think that this is one of the better attack cards
That takes an
that
action.
are out there. That takes an action, yes.
All of the free ones are better because free attacks are great.
Yes. Cruelty is leagues and bounds above this. But, yeah, that's... all right, I want to toss it to Brandon and to Steven as well. Brandon, do you have anything to add?
Nah, you can play this at home on your tabletop. It is close, just because Gambit doesn't have a lot of good attacks, and it does not cost any power to do this.
Right. And it's a pretty good free attack.
Yeah, it's not free, so...
oh, right.
But it is a good attack. I mean, Beam 3 6 dice is a flat out good attack, regardless of all the other text. And being able to do this for free, to not cost any power, just lose an action. It's probably better than his Gambit's attacks are what, range 2 5 dice and range 4 4 dice. Maybe.
I
don't
actually think
remember.
it's the other way around. I think it's range 2 4 dice and range 4.
So he has a
5
range
dice.
2. It's range 2 4 dice, range 3 5 dice.
Yeah.
And then he's
And
got
the
a beam 4 for 5 dice, which is a spender.
Yeah. Yep.
So I mean, yeah, it's fine if you want to play it at home, or if you are playing these models and you don't want to play the other tactics cards. Like, I mean, it's fine.
Yeah.
Like, there are a lot worse cards you could be playing.
Right. All right. Well, Steven, do you have something to add?
Well, I will say I do kind of have a soft spot for Gambit, and it's nice to see him getting a little bit of love. Maybe not enough, but my friend Mike, who I've referenced before on the podcast, he likes X-Force a lot. And, we came upon taking Gambit and X-Force because, he can do the one charming thief, right? Is that the one I'm thinking about? No, Dark. What is it, Brett?
Past.
Dark
Past.
Past.
Yeah.
And give all the X-Force people stealth for the first turn, and then they can play pretty sneaky sis on the second turn, and which protects you pretty good. So that's a good play we like. I might include this card in my 10 competitively, especially if I see an E secure pop up, and then it might get some consideration depending on the points value. So
Okay.
because E's would pile people up, and you push them off. That's a good thing.
The most
And it's got
annoying
size
thing about this
restricted.
card is that it says Gambit and Lucas Bishop and not like Remy LeBeau and Lucas Bishop. So
There,
it's not going to be able to work if we get a new Gambit card.
there's a theory about who a new Gambit could be that they would not want this card working for.
Yeah, it's just annoying.
Well, that is the first card.
Would it
think
be a
that-
horseman?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
okay.
boy.
I figured it out. Never mind. Continue. Sorry.
Oh boy.
My brain had to
with
work
this-
overdrive really quick because I was like, what else? Never mind.
That is this card. I think that they're getting a lot better at the attack cards, but there's still just a problem with getting an attack once in the game and it costing you a tactics card. All right, the next card that we got that's new is a X-Force reactive card called Preserve the Dream. It is X-Force required and it's reactive. When an enemy character targets an allied character with an attack, if it has a higher threat value than the allied character, any number of allied characters may spend 1 power to play this card. Characters that spend power to play this card immediately advance short toward the attacking enemy character. Okay. Now, I don't know much, but this seems pretty good. This seems like a pretty good card. I'm going to throw it to Brad again because Brad has the most X-Force experience. Brad, what are your thoughts?
It has a lot of uses, like putting Honey Badger in a good position, and because it's during the target step, Honey Badger can move and then use Too Dangerous to Ignore and take the hit that was aimed at someone else, which is pretty cool. Costs her 3 power, but she'll have it. She has power all the time. It also, like, if some of your guys get pushed off of secures, you can possibly move them back on, depending on where that enemy is. The downside is that you just moved all your guys closer to a Hulk, or, something like that.
Yeah, I don't think you use it when it's Hulk. I think you use it when it's like, well, Ebony Maw, or when it is a 4 targeting a 3, something like that. I mean, this is something that you trigger with, oh my goodness, how am I forgetting her name? She's the lucky one. Domino. See, this is something that Domino uses, or that people use when Domino is triggered. Because she's a 3-pointer, and she oftentimes gets attacked by things that are bigger than her.
That's true. And she usually survives them.
Yeah. All right, Brandon, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's a good card.
It is a good card.
Yeah.
I think you'll use it a lot more
Oh,
than I think
thought-
Fred's.
I thought that we were gonna have a blissfully short response from Brandon, but I was
Nah,
wrong.
that doesn't happen. I think you'll play this a lot more than Fred's leading out. I do think even like Hulk's second attack, if he's the first action, being able to move like towards him to make sure that you can attack him and possibly, especially in X-Force, they can literally just wipe him out. Not necessarily in one turn, but like if it's on like the second or third turn, if you can move Cable within 3, so he gets his rerolls. Same thing with like Bishop, or get Psylocke in a position to where she can use her pseudo charge to get extra dice, and you can really just like chop up Hulks or any other character. And then you still have like pretty sneaky sis like backup if you played that on that turn, like to stay outside of 2. So there are a lot of really good plays with this card, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Steven, what are your thoughts?
Out of movement, I mean, out of activation movement is really, really nice. And I think this encapsulates X-Force really nicely, because you have to think of X-Force as a wolf pack, and individually they're not very strong against other people, but if you get them all together, then it's lights out. So
yeah,
I agree with Brandon on that you come in and then you just go to town on whatever is big. So
All right. Well, I think that both of these are just signs that AMG are doing a better job of figuring out where they can still go with tactics cards. Because I think this is a good tactics card that will definitely see play, but it's not unbearably broken. Like, I think this is right where the tactics cards are supposed to be. All right. So I believe that's all the tactics cards that we got that we have not yet covered. And they also officially released the information for Kitty Pride, but we already did everything that is on that. We already know all of that, so we'll just move right along. Let's talk about tournaments that are coming up. On March the 9th, there is a tournament coming up at Missing Falls Brewery in Akron, Ohio. That one is a buy-in. Are there any seats left? I actually am not sure. But it is a $40 buy-in, and that gets you a ticket to the lunch buffet and a drink ticket. And the one thing about this tournament is that you need to have a fully painted roster. So keep that in mind when you're contemplating going. I will be going. So will Brad and Brandon. Steven, are you a no?
I am a confirmed.
You're a confirmed. Oh, great.
Yeah.
All
Yes.
right. So everyone on the podcast will be going.
Plus,
We look forward to seeing
plus
everyone there.
more.
Plus more people from the Charleston area.
Not Jared, I don't think, but
Yeah, not Jared, unfortunately.
Has
Yeah,
everybody signed up?
Well, I did try to sign up through the normal site, and something went wrong. And the organizer, Drew, he was really nice in contacting me. And so I'll be personally put in by him, and then I'll pay my fee when I get to the event. So I got that going on. But I haven't put myself into Longshanks as of yet. Although
Okay.
he gave me the go ahead too.
that's good.
So.
That's good.
I will let you guys know that Monica has already painted my Doc Ock. So I have a painted Doc Ock, and she is painting Hulk as we speak. So there's a very good indication that I will at least have 2 of my models that I don't need to borrow from other people
What?
to use a fully painted model.
I'm Sorry, Fred. Continue.
I was done.
Oh, I was just looking at the list of people who are going to this tournament, and we're gonna know a bunch of them.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh boy, I'm excited.
I'm just wondering now how many people are from the Akron area, because it doesn't seem like many.
I don't know. There's names on here I definitely don't know, but there's a lot I do.
A lot of people from Pittsburgh are coming too.
Yeah.
This is gonna be a big thing. I'm excited. I'm
They're
excited.
Currently 19 people listed here, but like it doesn't have Steve, and it may not have other people that we know that are coming.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Okay. Coming up on March the 16th, there is going to be a Guild Ball tournament in South Charleston at Lost Legion Games and Comics. That is going to be run by Brad, and it's going to have me and some of the old Guild Ball crew coming back together. We're excited. I still have not played a game of Guild Ball. I need to do that soon.
We can make that happen, Fred.
Okay. I need to do that because I'm going to be... I don't know how to play anymore. I haven't played since 2020. So...
For those interested, I will not be participating in the Guild Ball tournament.
But you
And
have
neither will I.
You have a team, Brandon.
Shame.
To be fair, even if it was an MCP tournament that day, I would not be
I
participating.
know.
Ah, okay. Well, those are the
Just to
tournaments
fill
that are
Fred
coming
in.
up.
No, Fred, you
Oh.
missed one.
I missed one. What did I miss?
On March 30th at Fabricators Forge in Pittsburgh.
All right, March 30th, Fabricators Forge. I'm adding it to my schedule. Okay. That's run by Bryce. He runs a really good show. It's always fun. So if you're in the area, everyone should go there. All right. Let's move on to games that we've played recently. So I do not have any games that I've played this week. I played none. Part of that is that I missed our normal game night because we did not have water at home. There was a huge water main break in Kanawha City, and because of that, I just decided to take she who tolerates living with me. I think I said her name earlier in the pod without thinking.
Definitely did.
Yeah. Oh well. We went out to eat so that we could use a restaurant's bathroom, and yeah, we missed the normal game night. But I want to hear what you guys did. What did you? Let's start with Brad. Do you have any games that you've played recently?
I played a game of Shatterpoint against Borka.
Okay, how did that go?
I tried to have a teddy bear picnic, and his robots came in and beat me up.
You were playing Ewoks?
I was playing Ewoks.
Oh boy.
He was playing Separatist. And gosh, the first struggle went for so long before, like, he filled up his side and I had like 2 spots on my side before I finally won it. And then he won the second struggle, and then it was really, really, really close for the third one, but he won it. I had 2 models left at the end of the game.
Holy moly.
Yeah, that was
the
most death I've ever seen.
Yeah, this is Shatterpoint, where models don't normally die all that
Yeah.
frequently.
The Ewoks are a little squishy, but they have a lot of synergies. They were fun. He lost both of his support units. Mull was going to die on his next activation. And Grievous was 2/3 of the way to dead. So we had a pretty violent fight overall.
Yeah, it sounds like it. It's also an anachronistic fight with the separatist droids versus Ewoks.
I mean, the Ewoks were probably around. They didn't
but
evolve.
Endor wasn't a strategically relevant
No.
location during the separatist war.
But
Not that I know anything about that.
That might be a good reason why the separatists were out there hiding and got attacked by the Ewoks.
Fred.
All right.
Fred.
Yep. Yeah.
You're saying the name of the little furry people wrong.
I am.
Yeah, they're called Killer Care Bears.
The Killer Care Bears. All right. Well, Steven, do you have any
Yes.
games that you've played recently?
I do not, but I would like to ask your gentleman's help, please,
Okay.
in one thing. Of course, we know I'm going to the Akron Brew Brawl, and I've devised a list, and I'm trying to decide on my 10th character. So any feedback would be appreciated. I figured this could substitute for a game played. Is that all right
Sure.
with you?
Sure.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. So my list consists, for the moment, consists of Amazing Spider-Man, Daredevil, Miles Morales, Elektra, Spider-Woman, Magic, Iron Fist, Moon Knight, Black Cat, and now I need a 10th person.
Agent
Who's-
Venom.
Do not have
Yeah.
him painted or built.
Okay.
What about
okay.
Spectacular Spider-Man?
What's that?
Spectacular Spider-Man?
No, don't like him. Random, don't like him.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay. What about Venom?
I've got a good answer. Why not Hulk?
That actually is a
Because-
good answer.
Because one of my friends challenged me not to run Hulk.
That's
Okay.
that's-
Give
that is
me
honorable.
the characters one more time.
Okay, Amazing Spider-Man,
Okay.
Daredevil, and Miles. Those are all leaders.
Okay. Give me a second. I've got to plug in these in so I can look them up. So I can look at it. I need to look at it. Go ahead after Miles.
Okay. Then I have Spider-Woman and Elektra. I have Magic and Iron Fist.
Okay.
Moon
Elektra,
Knight.
Magic. Okay.
Moon Knight, Black Cat, and then I have a 10th. Now, I was thinking of Strange Sorcerer Supreme, but I don't have him built or painted. I was toying around with Loki with one of the gems as a budget, as a substitute for that.
What about Ghost Rider? If for Defender's Flex.
I'm trying to, well, maybe. I'm trying to get people that have places, and Loki with the Space Gem would have a place.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so Amazing Spider-Man, Black Cat, Daredevil, Miles, Spider-Woman, Elektra, Magic, Moon Knight. I'm missing one character.
You got 3 leaders, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You got Black Cat. You have
Yeah.
Moon Knight,
Yeah.
Iron Fist.
Nope. That's what I was
Okay.
missing.
There you go.
Okay, Brad can chime in and then circle back to me.
Oh, I was gonna suggest Hulk.
Brad, I was also thinking about Psylocke too.
Psylocke's amazing. She's not affiliated with any of your things, but like, she's
neither is
so
Loki.
good. Yeah, she's so good.
So, do you actively not want to play a 2-threat?
Correct.
That's the glaring thing that's missing is a 2. So you just don't want to play a 2.
Well, I only have Bullseye or Wong painted and built.
Wong's a great option. So
Wong
it'd be like
is a
Wong
good
or
one.
Toad. Wong or Toad would be like the better 2s that you could play in this list. I mean,
Right.
Bullseye's also good. Toad has placements. Wong has healing and power economy that he can spread out.
Well,
you don't want to play a 2. Why? What about just Spider-Gwen?
don't have her built or painted. Some of these that's the issue. I'm going to get back home on the 7th, and there's not going to be enough time.
Oh, yeah.
What about Sam?
Sam. I don't know. But you know, I don't think anything that you guys have suggested is a bad choice. Like I said, I'm trying to stay away from Hulk, but I want characters that can play the spider, the Web Warrior game, and I think Loki can do that because he kind of has a built-in fallback. With his kit. The other thing is I want people that can fight on, be also fighty too for the defenders when you have to scrap. So, but I'm at a crossroads. So,
What about just Venom?
yeah, Venom, and he displaces people too.
He displaces, he can fight, he can play Web Warriors game plan. I think Venom's a good one.
Yeah, I think Venom was probably going to be there, but I might take everybody else's suggestions and see what I come up with. I've got a 9-hour drive this coming Sunday, and then on Wednesday or Thursday I have a 13-hour drive, so I have a lot of time to think about it.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
Drive safe, good sir.
No, I will. But Brandon, what do you think of the list so far besides the 10th character?
My only fear is you'll be like kind of stretching thin, depending on. I mean, you can play Miles a lot better than you can play Daredevil. I think is the only real thing. I don't think it's a bad thing, but I think you definitely are more designed to play like the Web Warriors, which is fine.
Mhm.
I mean, it's obviously a priority. I think the 10th character should probably be like a hard flex into like defenders, like a Ghost Rider or a Hulk or someone like that to give you just like that big beefy character. Um, that's where I would probably start. But if you're focused, if the main focus is obviously Web Warriors, I think the 10th character should be like a Toad or like a Venom or someone like that, just to have some little additional odd. Electra's the oddest one to me. I think there's some probably better fours that play across the board, but I like a four with grunts, so I don't hate it.
Yeah, she's my extract play for Web Warriors
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you can run Electra, um, Spider Woman, Miles, Black Cat, and Moon Knight, and have an all stealth team at 17, which I don't hate, obviously.
Yeah.
So,
It's
all right.
definitely not. There's nothing crazy about it.
Well, thank you, gentlemen, for your feedback. I do appreciate it very much. As you see, I have a lot to think about. So,
Yeah. All
but
right.
anyway,
Well, we've still got Brandon. Brandon, have you played any games that you want to talk about?
I have not played any. I did not play any games this week.
What happened? What happened? You go from like 7 games a week or 7 or 10 games a week and now 0? Are you okay?
I don't think I did. I was really thinking about it.
Oh,
I don't think I ended up
shoot.
playing any.
I did play some MCP games.
You played 2 MCP
I
games
played
yesterday.
2
I
of
was
them
going
last
to remind
night.
you. Yeah. I was gonna wait and remind him about that, but
They were against
the
Borka.
They were.
Yeah.
I was just thinking Thursday. Like, I didn't play any Thursday. But I played 2 games against Borka yesterday. Both X-Force versus Avengers. The first one, some rolls.
Okay, how did those go?
Yeah, the first one, some rolls went my way early. And then I didn't read my tactics card and paid 1 power a piece for the you can't target me except within 2 on turn 2. And I think at the end of turn 2, he's like, do you have time for another one? Because we could just call this here. And then the second game, I read my card. And the rolls didn't go, they weren't so lopsided in this game. And I just stayed right behind him all game and he won.
And you played the cards correctly.
Yeah, and I played the card correctly.
Let's what was the card? Just so
It was
we can...
Sis.
Yeah, pretty sneaky sis. The one where
Okay, just
you have to be within range 2 to target with attacks for each person who paid. But I thought it was 1 power, and it'd be really good if it was. But it's 2 power per character.
seems right. That seems correct. 1
Yeah.
power per character. That would be a little bit lopsided. And I'm just forcing you to say what it was just for the listeners at home.
Yep.
Okay. Well, those have been the games that we played recently. It's been a week where I don't think very many of us done much.
Yeah,
We're
my
slacking.
schedule was kind of wonky this week. I don't think I gotta play any. I'm trying to think if I feel like I played one, but because we talked about the tournament. I think the tournament was the last time I played. The tournament was the last time I played. We talked about that last week.
oh, gentlemen, if you would like me to share it now, I do have a personal message from somebody I met in LVO about our podcast.
Oh, okay.
All right. This is from Matt from Minnesota. Very nice gentleman. He sent me a personal message because we exchanged information, and he said that he was critical of other podcasts that don't read the cards of the characters because most of the time he is listening in his vehicle or at work, and he doesn't have the card in front of him, so he appreciates what we do. with the character card reviews.
Hey, that's good to hear.
So we got one fan of reading cards.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to pass that on to you, gentlemen, because he liked that very much, and I wanted to share that with you. Because obviously, if it weren't for you guys, I wouldn't be on this podcast either. So,
Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate it. Well, speaking of reading the cards, are you guys ready to talk about who we're here to talk about today?
Who's that?
I think it's
Brad?
that time. We're doing
Yeah, but
Ebony Maw.
No, we're not.
Ebony Maw.
No, we're not.
Oh, we're
Fred.
not?
No,
Wait, what?
no. That was just a trick. That was just a trick.
Wait, what are we doing?
Hulk.
Okay. Well, Ebony Maw, otherwise known as Ebony Maw, he has
Man,
a
I was
physical
trying to
defense of
let's
2.
try to do a good Ebony Maw impression and totally gaslight you, and it only kind of half worked.
My brain was there was smoke coming out of my ears there for just a second. All right, Ebony Maw. He has a physical defense of 2, an energy defense of 4, and a mystic defense of 6. He has 7 stamina on his front side, but only 6 stamina on his back side. He is a threat 5 character, size 2, and he has a movement speed of medium. And Brandon, why don't you go over his attack suite?
You've never asked me to do this, Fred. Why are you?
I
being
know,
weird
I'm
today?
swapping it up.
His first attack, it's a mystic attack called Black Tongue. It's range 4, 6 dice. It costs no power. After the attack is resolved, this character gains 1 power. If has a wild, sinister influence, after this attack is resolved, you may advance the target character short. His second attack is Mystic. It is called Herald of Doom. It is also range 4. It is 8 dice. It costs 4 power. The target character does not gain power for damage dealt by this attack. Has a wild throw. If the character is size 2 or less, after the attack is resolved, it may be thrown short.
Okay, Steven, why don't you go over the first 2 superpowers?
Sure enough, we have an active superpower, Telekinetic Powerhouse. It will cost 3 power. Choose an interactive terrain feature of size 4 or less within 3 and throw it long. This superpower can only be used once per turn. And then we have a reactive superpower, Telekinetic Deflection. It will cost 2 power. If this character would suffer a collision, it may use this superpower. This character does not suffer damage from this collision.
Amazing. And Brad, why don't you finish us off?
His first innate superpower is Mind Over Matter. When an enemy character targets this character with an attack, this character may use its Mystic defense regardless of attack type, unless the attacking character pays 2 power. Incredible Psychic Potential. During the power phase, this character gains 2 additional power, and he has Flight and Gem Bearer Mind Space.
Okay, while we're here, let's go over the 2 gems that he has access to. That is the Mind Gem and the Space Gem. The Mind Gem is the one where you have to pay 2 power to do it, but you can choose an enemy character within range 3 and advance it short. Pretty solid. And the Space Gem also is it costs you 2 power, and you get to choose another character. Choose this character or another allied character within range 3 and place it within range 2 of its current position. Again, can only be used once per turn. So, he has the 2 movement stones. All right. What is everyone's initial thoughts here about Ebony Maw? Brandon, I know that you have put this person on the table a couple times. You've done it against me at least once. What are your thoughts on Ebony Maw?
I have played Ebony Maw a decent amount of times. Did you mention that he goes down 1 health on his backside?
Yes.
Okay. I zone out when you're talking about that every time, and I'm always like, and I always doubt that you say it, even though I know you say it every time. Anyhow,
It's all right. It's always best to just assume that I forgot.
I do not normally play the stone on Ebony Maw. I rarely play the stone. However, if you do play the stone, you can Herald of Doom on turn 1, which is really, really good. This character can do some really busted things. Being able to walk up medium, use the black tongue attack, and then throw a size 4 terrain feature along, can absolutely just delete models. He does not want to be in the middle of fights, but he does play really well with others and can take over a game if left unchecked. Like by himself, just like he doesn't need like to get attacked to get like the power economy. Like the 3 power he gets a turn, and then the power he gets from an attack is like simply just enough power for him to do everything he needs to do in a turn. How to do is really good, but it's not like necessary. It's like this character very much just can, after turn 1, can just attack 2 6 dice mystic attacks and a throw every turn, and keep power up for the telekinetic deflection. And this character's can be just, I mean, the later in the game, it does get unfortunate. Like once they can start reliably paying the extra 2, but his energy defense is 4. So like you have to be hitting it with like the physical attacks, but if you stay out and their only attacks are energy and they're spending 2 power to reduce it by 2 dice, like you're probably in a really good spot, especially because he has 13 total health. This model is really, really good. This model is like I know I say it a lot when we talk about older models. This model is just absolutely criminally underplayed. Like this model should be played way more than it is.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. He having had him used against me before, I've seen what Ebony Maw is capable of, and it can be absolutely devastating. And not even with like just his spender. Black Tongue can make your models move off of points. It can make them move into the threats of other enemy characters. It can be a way to really control the battlefield. I think that Ebony Maw absolutely rules. Steven.
He's also really good against most of the lists that you like to play. So.
Yeah, he is. He's extremely good against me. All right, Steven, what are your thoughts here on Ebony Maw?
How do I get him painted up and put him in my Web Warriors Defender list?
I was going to actively recommend him, but I did not believe you had him painted. And I was trying to think. I started after my first 2. I started trying to think of characters. Like this model fits in great in like no matter what you're trying to play. Like if you're trying to be attrition, control-y, like this model fits in your list.
Yeah. Yeah. Why hasn't he played more? Right. Oh, geez. He might be some vastly underrated tech. You know what I mean? So, everything I see on him is good. Everything I see, there are a couple things on him that are a little bit that are really good. I guess it's just because there's nothing that really stands out that makes him like over the top. You know what I mean?
Like everything he does, there's a version of it that is better, but
Yep.
he has great options all around.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I think he's a very, very good character, and why isn't he run more? That's the big question, right?
I think that he was errated in the first round of erratas that came out, and before he was errated, he was bad. I think he was like actively bad.
Well,
he was not great.
He had a 2 energy defense, and he also had only 4 health on his injured side.
Oof, yeah, doofa.
It's really weird because like a lot of the characters that got improved saw a vast improvement in play. Like this model just kind of like fell through the cracks. And and it doesn't make. I think it's mostly because like he was hard to play in Black Order for a while because of Thanos with 8 points. Like you usually wanted the Space Stone on Thanos, and the Mind Stone's fine. So you're then like if you want to take a stone, then the stones became restricted. So when the first errata happened, the stones became restricted. So if you wanted a stone on Ebony Maw and you played Black Order, it became even harder because you didn't have restricted space because of the Reality Gem and the gem you wanted to run on Thanos. And then Thanos and another 5 or 6 became hard, and I think he just kind of fell out with Black Order, and people have just kind of forgotten he exists, and it makes no sense because there's a list that I will talk about later that he is absolutely just busted in.
Yeah, I think that he's so. I think that Ebony Maw is like he is a fantastic 5-point model. One that should be in the consideration for up there with like Ghost Rider in quality.
Yeah, it's the second best terrain throw in the game.
Yeah.
Like
All
a
right.
long throw is absolutely bonkers.
Yeah. And a size 4.
At size 4, yeah.
Yeah. Brad.
It's-
Oh. Sorry, go ahead.
I just said it's so good.
Oh yeah. Brad, what are your thoughts here on Ebony Maw?
He's good, Charles Xavier.
He's good, Charles Xavier. Yeah.
This card is exactly what the world wished Charles Xavier was.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, what can I say that hasn't already been said? Because Feather never starts with me. He's really good. I've played him several times. I played him when he was bad, and then I played him after a little bit, and he was good. But then I had X-Men to play, so I stopped. Borkus played him a lot and swears by him, and he's always done great work in his list. It feels like this is the first guy he tries when he tries a new list as a splash. He's great. He's real good.
Yeah. Yeah, he is. He's great. He has several tactics cards. Now, I opened up the tactics cards and I searched for required character, and I was surprised when nothing came up. But I had written Ebony Maw with an N.
This is the part that we haven't mentioned is how bonkers he's already really good, and then also has one of the best character tactics cards in the entire game.
Yeah, he really does. But before we cover that one, there's one that is alphabetically higher up that is called Psychic Shockwave. And Psychic Shockwave is an unaffiliated active card with Supergiant and Ebony Maw. May each spend 3 power to play this card. Roll 5 dice for each enemy character holding an objective token. The enemy character suffers 1 damage for each crit and wild result rolled. A character damaged in this way drops all objective tokens it is holding. The player playing this card chooses the order in which characters are affected. So that is almost exactly Well-Laid Plans, right?
Yeah.
Except for it hits everybody.
I mean, doesn't it Well-Laid Plans?
Well-Laid Plans hits the target that walks into it. This hits every enemy character.
No. That's Sinister Traps.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm thinking of the wrong card. I'm sorry. Yeah.
This is almost exactly Well-Laid Plans. I think Well-Laid Plans is cheaper. I think
No.
it's cheaper. Is it 3 each? Oh, it's okay. So this is great. The worst part of this card is that you have to have Ebony Maw. No, not Ebony Maw. Supergiant.
Yeah. But
Well,
if you play both of them in a list, you will play this card.
Yes, absolutely. Like you were bringing this if you have Supergiant in your list.
Yeah, the extra cost you're thinking about, Fred, is that Ebony Maw is 5 and Goblin is 4.
Yeah, that is true. Ebony's Maw is probably 6 if you're bringing one of the stones.
Or Supergiant is 4 if you bring the stone on her.
Oh yeah, you're right. She gets a stone too.
Yeah, the worst thing is
you're
that
not
you have to play
taking her
Supergiant.
stone.
You're not taking it. You're not taking the stone on Supergiant.
No. All right, let's talk about this other card. It's called Shush. I would do the sound, except for all the people out there who are misophones would hate me.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
there is another podcast. It's Omnis Protocol. He calls this card Shush.
yeah, let's call it Shush. I'm
Yeah.
okay with that.
Yeah.
It is an unaffiliated reactive card. When an enemy character within range 5 of an allied Ebony Maw spends 1 or more power to use an active superpower or reactive superpower, Ebony Maw may spend 3 power to play this card. The enemy superpower has no effect and cannot be used again for the rest of this turn, but the character still spends the power cost of that superpower and is considered to have used the superpower. Holy moly. This is so incredible. Like, this is how Ebony Maw just turns characters completely off. He just completely shuts down whatever they're doing. I think this card is one of the better tactics cards in the game.
I never noticed that it can't turn off a free superpower.
It cannot. They
It
have
cannot,
to spend 1 or
yes.
more power.
Yeah.
Yeah. My favorite thing about this card is the niche situation that you're playing against Black Order with Ebony Maw, and you can turn off the pay a power, go again with Proxima Midnight and Corpus Clave.
Ooh.
That and like I've only ever done it once, but boy oh boy, does that feel amazing because
That
their whole game plan is designed around those 2 models going back to back.
And
Yeah,
that
that's
one
devastating.
That one used to be free.
Yeah.
I think it's more devastating against Thanos' Death Decree.
Especially
he
now
gives-
because this decree's worse.
Well, I mean, giving extra dice to people, that's pretty powerful, right? So if you can turn that off for a turn.
Yeah,
But-
there's so many things. I mean, it's also like it really also there are plays too where like against Hulk where you can turn off his Gamma Leap, which then makes him have to use an action to move, which can be backbreaking if you're playing Hulk. I mean, it's really good against pretty much. It's never bad. Like there's never a situation where it's bad.
Yeah. And if it's Ebony Maw versus Hulk, Ebony Maw probably attacked him with Black Tongue and made him move as far away as possible, made him move to range 5, and then use this to turn off Gamma Leap. That is a Hulk that is sad. That is a sad Hulk.
Yeah. He's good. He's got a good kit. Now, there's another card that's very similar, right? On Scarlet Witch.
I don't have it pulled up. What's the card?
No More Mutants. It's the exact same thing.
It's the exact same thing. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
such a good ability. It's Scarlet Witch is another criminally underplayed 5 threat. Yeah, it's. I think that this ability is amazing.
I know Mutants is so good.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
All right, so
Uh,
that is Ebony Maw. Let's give this gentleman a letter grade. I'll go first here. So Ebony Maw, he's been used against me many times, and he always is the most dangerous thing on the table. It seems like he's always doing so much damage. His spender, I don't think we mentioned this when we were talking about him. His spender does not let you get power for damage dealt. That sucks. That hurts a lot, especially if you're playing Immortal Hulk. He's amazing. Like, he's an amazing model. I'm giving him an A+. A gentleman's A+. All right, Steven, what are you going to give to Ebony Maw?
Actually, I think I'm going to go with a B+.
Okay, that's fair.
Uh,
That's fair.
like I said, he's got a lot of good things. He's got a lot of really good things. He just doesn't have that outstanding thing. You know what I mean?
Okay. I think that the whole cumulative effect is outstanding, but that's fair. That's fair. Brandon, what are you gonna give to Ebony Maw?
I love that you're just like actively making sure Brad goes last at this point on every single topic.
Brad made me very confused when he said Hulk, and now I'm being vindictive.
I am closer to you than I am Steven. But it's not like you guys are super far apart. I'm gonna go with this just a solid A. The worst thing about this model, the outstanding thing is that he has a size 4 terrain throw that is range 3 and throws it long. The worst part about this is that he only has one affiliation that he's in, and that's Black Order, and he doesn't really fit in great there with Thanos. He fits in great if you're playing Corvus Glaive and Corvus Glaive's leadership. Like, you can, it's just disgusting. But with Thanos, he doesn't fit in super well because the 5 threat, possible a 6 threat, just doesn't. It's just hard to fit in with a 7 or 8 Thanos. So I'm going to go with a solid A.
Okay, there you go. And Brad, what do you got for Ebony Maw?
I think Hulk is an S tier character. I'm glad we finally talked. Okay, I think A is good. I like A, just middle of A's.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, he's just amazing. He's just fantastic. Brad, do you have any comic books that Ebony Maw is featured in?
Yes. But I have a slightly different thing today because the comics I want to recommend I have already recommended. So the thing is, the Black Order's not been around for very long, and they're not in that many comic books. And the two best stories, in my opinion, for the Black Order, we covered one in the Black Swan episode and the other one in the Supergiant episode. So I'm just going to recommend them again.
Okay.
The first one chronologically is called Infinity by Jonathan Hickman. If you want to hear Jared gush about it, go back to our Supergiant episode. It is very good. Fred, it is written by the same guy who wrote the comic you are currently reading.
Okay.
Yeah.
For everyone's knowledge, I am reading the House of X Powers of 10. Or did I do that backwards?
Yep, nope, that was right.
And it's Brad's copy, and it's as good as he said that it would be.
Yeah.
So,
Fred,
read it.
If you notice in Powers of 10, it's year 1, year 10, year 100, and year 1,000.
Yes.
All powers of 10.
It's all powers of 10. They're orders of... Yeah, I got
Yeah.
it.
And then the second one is called Avengers No Escape, which is... I did not look up the creative team for that. Anyway, it is a kind of a worldwide King of the Hill tag thing. Avengers versus Black Order versus the new Lethal Legion. And there's a bunch of really cool characters. And it's a good story. Like, it's one of the few Avengers stories I actually really like. So you can read that. There's like 25 issues of it, but it's a quick read.
All right. Is that it?
That's it. I'm done.
Okay, sorry. I don't have much to add. I don't know anything.
You know what we forgot to do, Fred?
What did we forget to do?
We forgot to tell all our listeners that we are out of suggestions of people to review.
Yes.
So if you want to hear us talk about a character, please let us know in the comments or something.
Yeah, we right now we have no one to do next, so
Yeah.
we'll just. What do we do? Will we just do one at random?
Yeah,
if we don't get
we'll
a recommendation.
What I tend to do is look back at characters we've done that we haven't done the whole box and just pick someone.
Yeah.
But it'd be better if we had some recommendations from our fans. Fans is a strong word. From our loyal listeners, at least.
Yes, from our loyal listeners. Have we done 3-Point Winter Soldier?
Yes, but not the updated version.
Yeah. Well, that's also an issue, is that
some of them have been updated since we did
yeah.
The episode. Yeah.
And you know what? Maybe we'll get a new character this week. I doubt it.
Distinctly possible.
It's possible that they start giving us some spider foes, but I doubt it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I don't think spider foes will be seen until Adepticon.
You are probably correct.
Yeah.
Oh, all right, Brandon. What is an affiliation that you think Ebony Maw would really work in?
Ebony Maw is very, very, very good in Convocation. To a point where I don't know if you're playing Convocation and not playing Ebony Maw, you're probably doing it incorrectly.
Yeah.
Ebony Maw is just absolutely bonkers in that affiliation. Having the ability and then also being able to have the Ironbound books available later in the game and continued in the game, making sure that you're always rolling 6 dice defense on Ebony Maw. It's just like Ebony Maw's just not going to die. And then that's just a really scary situation to be a part of. But another one that's also a really good splash, which is something we've all probably experienced, at least locally, is Ebony Maw in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
It feels gross.
Having those winging it tokens, just making them even better. It
just straight up does not feel like a good time. But all in all, you can do a lot of good things with Ebony Maw, and it feels really good in those two affiliations. Specifically, I think at the point of, I think that you just consider Ebony Maw affiliated with Convocation.
All right.
Because
he should be in your Convocation list. Should start with whomever you're gonna make your leader, and then Ebony Maw.
Yeah, the first models you should add are like Dr. Voodoo, and then immediately add Ebony Maw.
Right.
Well, Dr. Strange Sorcerer Supreme is very scary with Ebony Maw too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can play a really tall list with Convocation that becomes really nasty. Having Deadly Daggers of Davroth and the Black Tongue available to you are just disgusting.
Make Wong your leader.
Yeah. And then give Wong the affiliation.
All right. Well, the only thing that's left is my non sequitur recommendation. So recently, I've been replaying a game that I played when it first came out and genuinely loved, and I think it's appropriate for this matchup. It's the game Psychonauts 2. I was a huge fan of Psychonauts 1 when it came out. That was more than 20 years ago, I think, which makes me feel very old. But it was like this extremely well-written game. These are games by Double Fine Productions, and they specialize in very smartly written, very funny games. And that is exactly what these are. But they are also very proficient platforming games and are a ton of fun. I highly recommend it. Play Psychonauts 2. It's on Xbox Game Pass. It should be on other things. I don't but it is worth whatever you have to do to get it. All right, that is my recommendation. And that will be it for our episode. Next week, we will be covering question mark. Thanks everyone for joining us this week, and I hope that you all...
I'm sorry, Fred.
Oh.
The question is a DC character, not a Marvel character.
Goodbye, everybody.